Hello, I'm Captain Jack and welcome to the Hangar Bay. On this channel, we take a deep dive into the best starships, technology, and more from your favourite sci-fi universes. Today, we're talking about a starship class that was one of the critical components of the Alliance to restore the Republic's fight against the Galactic Empire, and arguably one of the heroes of the rebellion. The CR-90 Corvette, commonly known as the Corvellion Corvette or Blockade Runner, would prove to be a vital asset in the rebellion's fleet and prove to be effective in dealing with Imperial Fighter Craft, as well as running supply missions to planets subjugated by the Empire. Remember, for the latest videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. While you're watching this video, answer this question in the comments. What would you name a rebel starship in the Star Wars universe? Let us know what you think of this ship in the comments below. Measuring 150 meters in length, 48.6 meters in width, and 32.6 meters in height, the frame of the CR-90 Corvette extends from a massive bank of 11 ion turbine drives. These engine units provide the starship with its sublight ability. A hyperdrive is housed in the engineering section and typically has a Class 2 hyperdrive installed. Weapons-wise, the CR-90's standard configuration consists of dorsal and ventral dual turbolaser turrets, and turbolaser cannons installed. The weapons were effective in making the ship used in an anti-starfighter role. The secondary configuration of a Corvette can consist of 6 dual turbolaser turrets. A third configuration consists of 1 dorsal quad laser turret, 1 ventral dual turbolaser turret, a port and starboard laser cannon, and 4 turbo laser cannons. Finally, the fourth armament configuration consisted of 3 dorsal and ventral dual turbolaser turrets and 6 turbolaser cannons. A typical crew complement of a CR-90 Corvette would consist of anywhere from 46 to 165 personnel. Several hundred passengers could be taken on board, proving the Corvette useful as a rescue ship for evacuations. Several escape pods were fitted to the CR-90, including 4 12-passenger capacity escape pods and 8 6-passenger capacity escape pods. Defense-wise, the Corvette was equipped with standard deflector shields. One weakness of the CR-90 was the large engine module. Due to the large number of engines and their positioning, no weapons could target the ships facing the engines. As such, this was effectively a large blind spot on the Corvette. However, this is mitigated by the vessel's impressive turn rate. While not designed as carriers, the early rebellion used the CR-90 Corvettes to carry 3 RZ-1 A-wing interceptors. These were attached to the docking rings, allowing a Corvette to have a small escort. The CR-90 also possessed a small ventral launch bay that was found on the earlier CR-70 Corvette model. This allowed small starfighters and shuttles to dock in a sealed bay. Interior design-wise, the CR-90 Corvettes are clean and pristine. As these ships were designed as diplomatic vessels, the interior features dining rooms to host state dinners with fellow senators and diplomats, as well as conference centers for negotiations. Personal offices were on board, along with entrance lifts and the standard bridge and engineering rooms. The Corvellion Engineering Corporation designed the CR-90 Corvette as a diplomatic transport ship. As such, it was never originally intended to be a combat ship. However, the CR-90 would prove to be a versatile ship, performing many tasks such as fast attack missions and blockade running, and it also serves as a command ship. All this while still being able to perform its intended duties as a consular ship. The ship class was initially used within the Galactic Republic and Imperial Senate. However, following the rise of the Empire, many CR-90 Corvettes would serve as the backbone of the early rebellion and alliance. While not heavily armed, a ship of this class would possess enough forward firepower to destroy an Imperial Gozanti-class cruiser relatively easily. The CR-90 entered service in the closing years of the Galactic Republic. Older Corvette models, like the CR-70, were gradually being refitted into the CR-90 version. During the Clone Wars, Senator Bail Organa of Alderaan would own a CR-90 Corvette called the Tantive IV. We'll go over the story of that specific Corvette in a moment. One of the first major conflicts that saw the use of the CR-90 Corvette in the early rebellion was when 3 were used to assist in the rescue of the fallen rebel leader and Jedi, Kanan Jarrus. This battle also saw the destruction of the Imperial Star Destroyer Sovereign. This was the flagship of Grand Moff Wilf Tarkin. The Rebel Phoenix Cell, which was under the command of Jun Sato, had 5 CR-90 Corvettes at its disposal. With the loss of the cell's flagship, a modified Pelter-class frigate, Sato would use the CR-90 called Liberator as his new flagship. It also made the CR-90 the de facto flagship of the Phoenix Cell. As the rebellion was slowly built, more and more CR-90 Corvettes would come to serve the rebellion, proving how versatile the craft was in dealing with the rebels' many missions. Multiple CR-90 Corvettes distinguished themselves in the Galactic Civil War. Multiple Corvettes joined the Alliance fleet near Sullust in preparation for the assault on the second Death Star. However, several were destroyed in the Empire's trap within the Endor system. More CR-90s would fight during the Battle of Jakku, where some crash-landed on the planet's surface. One of the most famous CR-90 Corvettes was the Tantive IV. The ship was active during the Clone Wars. As an Alderaanian corvette, the vessel served Senator Bail Organa as a mobile headquarters during his many duties as the Senator. One mission saw him take the ship to Tordaria to negotiate with the King. Following the rise of the Galactic Empire, the ship remained in service to Bail Organa. 1 year after the events of Order 66, Ahsoka Tano would sneak on board to meet with the Senator. The ship began to slowly see more action towards the growing rebellion. As in 5 BBY, it met with the Spectres, who returned Bail's 2 droids, C-3PO and R2-D2. When Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan, adopted daughter of Bail Organa, turned 16, she requisitioned the Tantive IV as her ship for use on relief missions. Once again, the CR-90 Corvette proved how useful it was. During this time, Bail Organa would still use the ship for rebel business. As the rebellion grew more prominent, the major Battle of Scarif would occur. However, shortly before this, the Tantive IV was on a mission where the ship would be severely damaged. It required extensive repairs to its hyperdrive, engines, and weapons. As such, it was docked aboard the modified MC-75 Mon Calamari star cruiser Profundity. When the rebel fleet was forced to scramble to Scarif, the Tantive IV was taken along with the fleet, still docked inside the hangar of the larger ship. Leia Organa had actually boarded the CR-90 with the mission of going to Tatooine to meet an old friend. Due to the battle breaking out, she was unable to depart the ship. As the battle raged, the Tantive IV remained docked inside the Profundity. When the Mon Calamari ship was destroyed, the Tantive IV barely managed to launch from a crippled rebel flagship and escape the battle with the stolen schematics of the Imperial battle station, Death Star. Darth Vader came very close to boarding the rebel Corvette. The Tantive IV made it to Tatooine, but the Imperials caught up and immediately captured the Corvette. Due to the damage of his ship, it was unable to escape again. Imperial stormtroopers boarded the ship and quickly captured the crew. Thankfully, Princess Organa had the Death Star plans taken off the ship by her droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO. While stormtroopers ransacked the ship, Lord Vader killed the ship's captain, Remus Antilles. Leia Organa would last see the Corvette docked in the hangar bay of Vader's Imperial Star Destroyer, the Devastator. The Empire would report that the Tantive IV was destroyed in a meteor collision, covering up their actions. It is presumed the Empire executed the remaining crew of the Corvette, as no one knows what happened to them. Decades after the Galactic Civil War ended, General Leia Organa was now leading the resistance against the First Order. A former Imperial Senator had located the Tantive IV lying derelict in a hangar in the Yama system. This Senator had the CR-90 Corvette repaired and then gifted to Leia. The General would then use the ship as her personal flagship from the Resistance base on Asian Kloss. Due to the poor state of the base, most of the Resistance crew would live and sleep on board the Tantive IV when off duty. The Corvette would also serve as a generator for the base. During the Battle of Exegol, the starship served the Resistance once again. Rebel legend Nine piloted it. During the battle, a lightning storm disabled it, released by Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious. The attack destroyed one of its engines. Unfortunately, this triggered a chain reaction and caused the Tantive IV to plummet onto Exegol's surface, resulting in the loss of the legendary starship. The Tantive IV, a CR-90 Corvette, holds the distinction of being the first ever ship to appear in the franchise. Initially, the ship's designs were intended to be used for the Millennium Falcon. However, it was then found that the name and spacecraft were too similar to the Eagle transporter from the television series Space 1999. This led to the craft being modified and used for the Tantive IV, which had less screen time in Star Wars A New Hope, and did not have a bird-related name. When Star Wars Revenge of the Sith came out, many official sources stated that the Corvellion Corvette in the movie was the Tantive IV. That is incorrect. The Corvette we see in Revenge of the Sith, used by Bail Organa, is the Tantive III, a CR-70 Corvette. The first Star Wars starship designer, Colin Cantwell, designed the initial concepts of the Tantive IV, which was originally intended to be the Millennium Falcon. On screen, you can see some early concept artwork of the original design inside a hangar. Cantwell worked on George Lucas's original directions to create original designs and concept models for a number of legendary Star Wars designs, such as the X-Wing, Y-Wing, TIE Fighter, and many more. Cantwell's designs were later developed by concept artists Ralph McQuarrie and Joe Johnston. The CR-90 design has become legendary in Star Wars, appearing in multiple movies, TV series, video games, books, and comics. So that's a complete breakdown of the Star Wars CR-90 Corvette. Hopefully I got the pronunciation of the Tantive IV correct there. It's a bit of a difficult one, but no, officially it is meant to be the Tantive IV. What do you think of this ship design? Did you also answer my question at the start of this video? If you missed it, comment your answer to this question. What would you name a rebel starship if you were to command one? Is it bad if I say Forward Unto Dawn? Let's merge some Halo names into Star Wars. That's the end of this video. I've been Captain Jack in the Hangar Bay. Remember, if you're talking about science fiction, we want to hear about it.